Part 4. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 31. At around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan returned to the open space. They smiled bitterly when they saw each other. They didn't even need to ask what happened. It was clear from their faces that they had been beaten again. They were standing on the side of the road. They came to two on-site recruiters, but they were both recruiting waitresses. Each one only hired 3 people. Just like Mr. Xia and others, they came and left quickly. There was another one who hired waitresses. There were a lot of people, and the formalities were completed. They set up tables on site and accepted registrations, and soon there was a long queue. The two of them squeezed into the crowd and copied some addresses, but the more they copied, the more unsure they became, and it became just an explanation for themselves. The 2 people withdrew from the crowd. Lu Ligan went to buy the talent information newspaper again. Zhang Chen was standing on the roadside. Someone passed by him on a motorcycle and shouted, "We are hiring a kitchen helper." He walked around and no one responded. When he walked back, someone called out, "I'll go." The man threw his head back, "Get in the car." The 2 men left. "What are you looking at?" Lu Ligan came back and saw Zhang Chen standing stupidly, staring at the back of a motorcycle. "When that guy came to recruit kitchen help, I was so moved that I almost followed him," Zhang Chen said. "Kitchen helper, are you kidding me?" Lu Ligan shouted, "Can you do it?" "No kidding, I was just thinking, no matter what job, find one first, and then change. What can't you do as a kitchen helper? Isn't it just washing dishes, mopping the floor, and peeling potatoes? This is what everyone does when they go abroad. It's like this even in New York and Tokyo," Zhang Chen said. "That was in New York," Lu Ligan shouted. "What's the difference? Is washing dishes in New York more noble than hiking? Then your painting hands will be ruined." "Huh, drinking the northwest wind is even worse. There are so many awesome people doing this, and there are also people who carry corpses. I'm a humming member of the Yongchengwu opera troupe. Why are you so awesome? Go and ask if there is anyone here." "We know where Yongcheng is," Zhang Chen said. "Okay, I won't tell you anymore. You saw it on TV, right? TV is TV, reality is reality. Anyway, you have to wash the dishes. Not to mention Lily, I don't even know you," Lu Ligan said with a smile. You, get out," Zhang Chen cursed. Lu Ligan said, "Okay, go away. It's time for Lily to come back. Let's go and see if she has become a senior white-collar worker." The 2 of them rode back without even having dinner. They planned to take Jin Lily with them to eat together. When they got home, it was already past 6 o'clock. They heard the 2 couples next door arguing. Although the door was closed, they could still hear it clearly. On the other side, the 2 girls were facing a cassette player and learning new songs. Singing very loudly, it seems that this is their business learning. There was no one in their room. Zhang Chen looked at the table and there was no note. If Jin Lily came back and went out again, according to her habit, she would leave a note on the table. It's over. This is a shady company that Lily went to. She met a shady capitalist. She didn't get off work so late. On the first day of trial work, she was ruthlessly exploited, Lu Ligan scolded. The 2 of them lay on the bed and waited for more than half an hour. It was already past 7 o'clock and Jin Lily hadn't come home yet. Zhang Chen stood up and was about to go downstairs. Lu Ligan asked, "Where are you going?" "I'll pick up Lily," Zhang Chen said. Lu Ligan also sat up, "Wait, I'll go too." The 2 people rode their bicycles to the entrance of the financial garden. Outside the guard box, there was still the wild boar's bicycle. He obviously still remembered Zhang Chen and the others. Before they came near, he straightened his head. Thundercap, staring at them. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan stopped asking for trouble. They parked their cars on the opposite side and leaned on the rungs of their bicycles. The two waited for more than half an hour, but there was still no sign of Jin Lily. Luligan couldn't hold it in any longer. He walked over and said to the security guard, "Master, let me ask you, my friend's girlfriend works here and she hasn't gotten off work yet. What's going on?" The security guard glanced sideways at Luligan and said angrily, "It's only around 8 o'clock now. Why are you so anxious? There are a lot of people working overtime here until 10 or 11. Luligan came back and told Zhang Chen that the two of them were tired and hungry, but they had no choice but to continue waiting, who would have encountered a black-hearted capitalist. Jin Lily sat there, looking outside. After sitting for a while, she simply opened all the curtains, and a large expanse of green shade and blue sky swarmed in. What Jin Lily wanted to see the most was the sea. She saw dots of ships on the sea. They were parked there, and she couldn't tell whether they were moving or not. Jin Lily saw Siuying Pier and saw the people boarding and disembarking on the pier. She couldn't help but laugh softly. Life is really wonderful. A few days ago, she was still one of the people hurriedly disembarking from the boat. Her whole body was hot. Now, she has become one. Watching others disembarking in a cool air-conditioned room. She didn't know how many Jin Lily, Zhang Chen, and Luligan were like her in the crowd of people getting off the boat. She also didn't know how many Jin Lily, Zhang Chen were there in the crowd of people who got off the boat. Luligan, they encountered obstacles everywhere on the island. After having close contact with all the mosquitoes in the park, they finally gave up on their dream and went home dejectedly. Jin Lily thought to herself, "There is nothing we can do to go back. We have given false evidence, committed crimes, slept in the park, and even learned Hainanese to take a shower. How can we go back?" There was a noise outside. Jin Lily trembled and jumped up from her chair. She picked up the key on the table and walked to the connection with the living room. She looked outside. There was no one in the living room and the door was still closed. She walked over to take a look and checked the door locks. They were still intact, and then she breathed a sigh of relief. There was another bang, and Jin Lily heard it clearly this time. It was the sound of the door closing next door. It was closed so loudly. "Did you take some medicine? The soundproofing of this house is so good that I can hear it from so far away. Why don't you just remove the door?" Jin Lily made a face at the next door, and then walked back to her office. She looked at the drawer in the middle. It was intact, and she pulled it with her hand. It was locked. Jin Lily continued to look out the window. What made her wonder was why the sea was blue when she looked at it from a distance, but when she looked closer, it turned out to be muddy yellow. She was puzzled. Jin Lily was sitting there, with really nothing to do. She looked at her and Lao Bao's tables, and they were both empty, not even a book. "Mr. Xia and the others, why haven't they come back yet? Didn't they say it was urgent and they would come back as soon as possible?" Jin Lily stood up. She walked to the TV, picked up the DVD and started watching it. She held a DVD with a jacket in her hand and looked back at her office behind her. She did not dare to leave her desk. It was too long, so after thinking about it, I simply picked up the pile of DVDs and returned to my office. She took out the DVD and looked at it, but there was nothing to read. It was about the same size as the Bakelite records on the record player at home, but much thicker. Jin Lily looked at the catalogs on the covers, and she immediately became interested. When it comes to songs by Mao Ning and Yang Yueying, 3 of them are all included, which Jin Lily likes. There is a picture of Russian style, which contains Katyusha, Troika, cranberry flowers blooming, Moscow suburban night, small road, etc., as well as Volga trackers. Luligan sang out of tune in everything he sang, and Tan Shahan said that even the cows couldn't be pulled back. He could only sing the hey 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 before Volga trackers without running away, so for a period of time he would say hey 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 every time he opened his mouth. Once in Taishan, Wenzhou, the Yongchengwu troupe was invited to attend the funeral of an old overseas Chinese who opened a restaurant in Spain. In order to show the bravery of the old overseas Chinese when he was young, Lu Ligan made up a story about the old overseas Chinese fighting Spanish gangsters. As for the story, this foreign gangster has to speak a foreign language. Who has acted in it? Several supporting actors were in trouble. Lao Yang said, come on, you get on the pole, you don't need to put on makeup to play a gangster from any country, you can act in your true colors. Not on? Why the hell are you writing about a foreign gangster? Then let me write about Qin Shibao and the old overseas Chinese fighting Qin Kaiyan, okay. Lu Ligan glared at Lao Yang. Feng Logui was making noises on the side. He said it was okay. You can do the pole. You can't speak foreign languages, but you can sing the foreign song hey hey hey. Feng Logui took off Lu Ligan's shirt and threw it away. He took a female member's floral shirt and tied it to Lu Ligan's waist. He told Lu Ligan that all hooligans in any country wear floral shirts. He took a bowl of water, poured it on Lu Ligan's vest, and told him, this is wine, you vomited it yourself. Lao Yang pushed me from the edge of the stage. As a result, Lu La pole went up. The Spanish gangster was drunk and staggered. He hummed hey 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 and came on the stage. The audience burst into applause. Lu La pole was so proud that he staggered several times on the stage. Circle and sang hey 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 for a few minutes. Feng Logui, who played the role of an old overseas Chinese, couldn't catch up with him several times. He couldn't show his bravery. Finally, he got anxious. When he saw him coming to the edge of the stage, he simply kicked him off, where he was caught by Lao Yang. This happened, it became a joke in the troupe. Lao Yang said that if I didn't catch him, he would still go up and sing hey 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 for 5 days and 5 nights, and the old overseas Chinese would not be buried. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 32. Jin Lily then saw a DVD, which was full of Lu Huan's songs, which Zhang Chen liked. She pointed at the catalog with her finger and read, and when she saw the episode Young Aspirations Don't Tell the Sorrows from the TV series Plain Clothes Police, Jin Lily burst into laughter. She remembered that when Zhang Chen sang How Many Winds and Rains, How Many Spring and Autumn, his back was straight, his neck was stiff, and his face was serious. Tan Shahen couldn't help but stand up once, walked over and touched Zhang Chen's neck, and turned around and said to them, I'm really into it. The iron here is so hard that even a knife can't cut through it. They laughed loudly, and Feng Logui said strangely, Zhang Chen, his whole body is so stiff when he sings, how can he perform? Zhang Chen scolded, you think everyone is like you, you're a water snake. They laughed again. Alas, I don't know how Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan are doing today. Jin Lily sighed. Mr. Xia and Lao Bao, why haven't they come back yet? Oh, I'm so anxious. Jin Lily pricked up her ears. She thought she heard wrongly. After listening for a while, yes, it was really the doorbell. Jin Lily grabbed the drawer key on the table, walked over, approached the door and asked. Who is it? Mr. Xia or Lao Bao? Didn't you bring your keys? Chen Ming, open the door, shouted someone from outside the door. Who are you? Chen Ming, Mr. Xia's friend. Strange, who are you? I'm the new one today. Mr. Xia is not here, and by the way, neither is Lao Bao. Open the door, I'll go in and wait for them to come back. Sorry, Master Chen, I can't open the door. Master Chen, I am Chen Ming, Mr. Xia's friend. I am not a water pipe repairer. Open the door quickly. The doorbell was rang hurriedly. Jin Lily frowned, and after the ringing, Jin Lily said. Master Chen, I know you are Mr. Xia's friend, but I can't open the door. What the hell, you're inside, why can't you open the door? I'm sorry, Master Chen, I just can't drive. Either, or you wait until Mr. Xia and the others come back. The doorbell ding dong rang again, as if it had been kicked twice. I'm sorry, Master Chen, I'm so sorry. The door was kicked hard again, and then there was no movement outside. Jin Lily let out a long breath. Although the room was so cool, she felt that her back was soaked with sweat. Jin Lily stood behind the door for a while, and then walked back after hearing that there was indeed no movement outside. She picked up the DVD on the table. There were many Hong Kong and Taiwan golden songs in it, ranging from 1 to more than 10 albums. They were all complete. She glanced at them and found many of her favorite songs, but she could no longer be interested in them. She took all the DVDs back, stacked them up, and then returned to her office and sat there, looking out the window in a daze. It was almost 5 o'clock, and Jin Lily finally heard the knock on the door outside. She jumped up quickly, walked to the connection between the office and the living room, and looked outside. Sure enough, it was Mr. Xia and Lao Bao who opened the door and came in. Jin Lily quickly shouted, "Old Bao, Lao Bao, come here and stand for a while." Lao Bao walked over and looked at Jin Lily in confusion, but Jin Lily ran away. Mr. Xia and Lao Bao stood there. They heard Jin Lily run to the bathroom. After a while, she came back. "What are you doing?" Lao Bao asked. "I'm sorry, I almost choked myself with urine all afternoon," Jin Lily shouted. "You need to pee urgently, why don't you go to the bathroom?" Mr. Xia asked. "How dare I go?" Jin Lily opened her eyes wide. "There is 100,000 yuan in the drawer. What if a thief comes in when I go to the bathroom?" "Isn't the drawer locked?" Lao Bao asked. "The lock was kicked open with just one kick. Besides, the thief broke in through the outside door." "Doesn't he have any tools in his hand?" Jin Lily asked. Lao Bao smiled and said, "Yes, you still have a point. The thief has just come in." "What can you do alone?" Mr. Xia asked. Jin Lily opened the drawer on the side and took out a kitchen knife from it. She said to Mr. Xia, "After you left, I went to the kitchen to get this. I can scream and fight with him at the same time. Listen, there is someone next door." Mr. Xia and Lao Bao couldn't help it anymore and burst out laughing. "Xiao Jin, have you read too many books about sacrificing your life to protect collective property?" Mr. Xia said with a smile. Jin Lily giggled, "I've actually seen it. Little Sisters of the Heroic Prairie is in our elementary school textbook." Mr. Xia kept nodding his head, I understand. "By the way, Mr. Xia, there was a friend of yours who came to see you," Jin Lily said. "I know, it's Master Chen, right?" Mr. Xia said with a smile. "He called me and scolded me, saying where did I find one? A fool just refuses to open the door. No matter what he says, it's useless." Lao Bao also laughed. "I'm opening the door. What if it's a bad guy?" "I don't know him," Jin Lily muttered. "Also, if he wants to scold me, just scold me." "Why should he scold you, Mr. Xia?" "They are right to criticize you," said Mr. Xia. "They say that if a company is open but cannot be opened, it is not a prison." Jin Lily was stunned for a moment, and then laughed sheepishly. Mr. Xia took out a piece of paper from his bag, handed it to Jin Lily, and said to her, "This is the password to the safe. You can lock the money in the safe later. I now announce that you have passed the assessment. You have officially become a member of our company. Welcome." Jin Lily said curiously, "But, I don't seem to have done anything in the afternoon." "No, you did something very important," Mr. Xia said. "Let me ask you, Lao Bao and I have left, and you are the only one left here with 100,000 yuan. Why didn't you take it with you? Is the money going away?" Jin Lily was shocked. "How is that possible? This is public money, not mine." "Why not? You took 100,000 yuan and left." Heiken is so big that we have no way to find you. The most important thing is that we don't have any evidence that 100,000 yuan was left with you. With these 100,000 yuan, you and your boyfriend don't have to do anything, and you won't have to worry about life for most of the year, right? Mr. Xia asked. Jin Lily kept shaking her head. No, it's not your own money, you can't touch it. My mother has taught me this since I was a child. If I go back with this money, Zhang Chen will scold me to death. Yes, he won't ask for the money. Mr. Xia sighed and said, it means you have a good mother and a good boyfriend. Of course, you are also very good. Alas, but many people just can't help it. Do you know why I asked you to do it today? Will you come for a trial job this afternoon? Jin Lily shook her head. Because there is another person who wants to try out for work in the morning. Do you still remember the other girl? Jin Lily nodded. She took the 100,000 yuan with her in the morning and was about to leave, but we stopped her down below. Ah, Jin Lily exclaimed, how could she do this? Oh, no, how come she was holding the money and you just happened to touch her? Mr. Xia and Lao Bao smiled but said nothing. Jin Lily suddenly realized, I understand, are you waiting for her below? By the way, were you also below just now, preparing to arrest me? Lao Bao laughed and said, we are not fools. We would really give our money to just one person. We don't even know whether he is worthy of trust. Jin Lily patted her chest, my dear, luckily I didn't have this idea, otherwise, would this job have been ruined again? That's what you thought of, Mr. Xia and Lao Bao looked at Jin Lily and laughed again. Mr. Xia said, okay, let Lao Bao explain other things to you, and then we will go out for dinner and welcome banquet, welcome you to join. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 33. Lao Bao and Jin Lily said, your monthly salary is 5,000. Jin Lily was shocked. Work 6 days a week, Sunday off. Jin Lily said, oh. During working hours, you eat whatever we eat. Don't worry, we won't eat the chaff. Lao Bao said. Jin Lily smiled, I'm not afraid, except for eating watermelon, you can't compete with me. Lao Bao knew that Jin Lily was laughing at his buck teeth, so he also smiled, okay, this is the way it is, don't pretend. It's not even pretending, Jin Lily said. Cashier work is not easy either. Most of the time there is nothing to do, but sometimes, I need to work in the middle of the night. Jin Lily was shocked again, what kind of job? The cashier had to work in the middle of the night. Our company also sells drugs, Jin Lily asked Lao Bao in a low voice. Lao Bao laughed and told her that although she worked in the middle of the night, don't worry, what she was doing was legal business. Jin Lily breathed a sigh of relief. The company provides accommodation. Come, I'll show you your room. Lao Bao stood up and led Jin Lily down the corridor at the end of the living room. On one side was a gym with a treadmill. On the other side, Lao Bao opened the door, this is your room. Jin Lily saw the inside. The bed, table, and cabinets were all new, and even the bedding was new. Most importantly, there was an air conditioner inside. Jin Lily couldn't believe that this room was hers. She looked at Lao Bao. Lao Bao said to her, after dinner later, we will take you to your accommodation. You go get your things and stay here tonight. Maybe we will set off early tomorrow morning. Stay here tonight, Jin Lily asked. Yes, is there a problem? Of course, you can go back to your boyfriend's place on Saturday, Lao Bao said. No, there's no problem, it just feels a little sudden, Jin Lily said. Just get used to it. In Hainan, everything has to be done quickly. Everyone is grabbing money, and no one will give you time to wait, Lao Bao said. Understood. Jin Lily nodded. She thought, I have already tasted this. Didn't that girl just beat me to it? If she was not so greedy, this job would still be hers. So easy to say, so dangerous. Dinner was booked at the Nance Huang Hotel, which was the largest and highest-end hotel in Haikan at the time. They got on the Nandakiao and turned right. Not far after getting off the bridge, there were cars parked on both sides of the road. Mr. Xia said they should park here. Walking over, there is no parking space in front. Lao Bao refused to give up and wanted to drive forward. Mr. Xia scolded him, you won't give up until you reach the Yellow River. Only then did Lao Bao stop the car. It was still more than 300 meters from where they got off to the hotel. Lao Bao told Jin Lily that all the cars on the roadside came to Nance Huang to eat. Jin Lily was startled and asked, the food here is very good, is it cheap? Both Mr. Xia and Lao Bao laughed. Lao Bao said that the food here is not cheap. Because of its great reputation, everyone comes here to eat. This meal is just for fun. The more people there are, the more people like to crowd in. They walked forward, and sure enough, there were no parking spaces on the side of the road. The sun had not yet set. On Haixia Road, under the sun, cars were coming and going, and the heat was steaming. But fortunately, hotel security guards soon came to greet them. A few hundred meters away, holding a big black umbrella, came to pick them up. Jin Lily saw that the faces of these security guards were all swarthy. It was obvious that they were running around under the sun every day. The hotel's business premises have a total of 3 floors. There is a large parking lot in front of the door. It has been full of cars for a long time. Lao Bao asked, is the parking lot in the back also full? He was talking about the compound of the political department of the Hainan provincial military region next to the hotel, and the hotel rented their house. The security guard said that it had been full for a long time, and that there would be vacancies one after another until about 8 o'clock in the evening. Mr. Xia said, isn't that right? Fortunately, I didn't listen to you. Lao Bao shouted, okay, you are a wise leader again. Next to the door of the hotel, there was a row of temporary simple sheds with iron cages inside. Mr. Xia walked into the hotel door himself, went to enjoy the cool air, and told Lao Bao to take Xiao Jin to get familiar with them. Lao Bao took Jin Lily to the shed, pointed to each cage and said to her, this is a sea turtle, this is a mountain tortoise, this is a raccoon dog, this is a civet, this is a pheasant, this is a cobra. Jin Lily saw the unit prices hanging on each iron cage and asked, are these edible? Of course, if you put it here, you can't eat it and it's just a decoration, Lao Bao said. It stinks like hell. The front of the cage was very smelly. Jin Lily frowned, and Lao Bao said with a smile, it's delicious when it's cooked. They entered the hotel gate, and Mr. Xia stood there, telling Lao Bao to get familiar with Xiao Jin. The hotel receptionist knew Mr. Xia and asked him, Mr. Xia, is this a private room or a lobby today? Mr. Xia said that in the lobby. The greeter found the table they ordered from the registration book and led Mr. Xia in. Next to the hall is a large seafood pool. Jin Lily didn't recognize anything in it, so Lao Bao took her with him and recognized them all: Jai Wei shrimp, bamboo shrimp, peepa shrimp, Australian lobster, Nanhai shrimp, blue dragon, Boston lobster, safflower crab, meat crab, Dungeness crab, grouper, mouse spot, eastern star spot, sume, red squid, shark. Jin Lily's head almost exploded when she heard it. Lao Bao told her that this hotel has 3 floors. The first floor is the lobby. There are more than 40 tables in the lobby. There is a stage on the left where a professional dance group performs dances from various countries during meals. There is also a hall on the second floor with more than 30 tables. The stage on the second floor is where singers perform. Behind the hall on the second floor, there are more than 20 private rooms. The private rooms here are relatively simple and are mainly for guests who need private space. Of There are 22 luxurious boxes on the third floor. Important business banquets are often held here. The boxes here have a small dance floor and a full set of karaoke equipment, where you can have fun while drinking. The minimum consumption is also 8,888, Jin Lily asked. How do you know? Old Bao Chi asked. You guessed it, Jin Lily said, don't all people here like to use a lot of eights? They walked into the hall. The hall was basically full. There was no one sitting on the table, and there was a book sign on it. Their table was not far from the stage. On the stage, there were 8 girls doing the Hawaiian hula. After Jin Lily sat down, Mr. Xia took a recipe book from the ordering clerk standing aside, and then told her to come back later. The waiter bowed slightly and said, "Okay, Mr. Xia." Mr. Xia handed the recipe to Jin Lily, but told Jin Lily that he was familiar with it. Jin Lily opened the menu and was shocked. The cheapest dish in it, boiled kale, cost 68 yuan. Jin Lily smiled and said, I can't afford to come to such an expensive place again. I'm familiar with it. What does it do? Both Mr. Xia and Lao Bao laughed. Mr. Xia did not laugh, and Lao Bao said, most of our business is done while eating. You must be familiar with all the hotels in Haikan, because each guest has different preferences, so you have to choose different hotels, and each hotel has its own characteristics. For example, Heilongwang, VIP restaurant, and Heal Seafood mainly focus on seafood, Tianlongguang and Dalongwang focus on game, Shizalo mainly serves late-night snacks, Aer Liangtang is Cantonese cuisine, and Chaozhongchan is Chaozhou cuisine. The cuisine, Wang Heilu, is Hainanese cuisine. After you come, I will give you some of my many titles. Office Director, I will give them to you first today. Then what do I want to do? Jin Lily asked. Call to make a reservation and order food, Lao Bao said. Also, there are only a few people in our company. Usually when we have dinner, all employees will be out in force, so we don't have to cook at home, Mr. Xia said with a smile. Only then did Jin Lily understand what Mr. Xia meant when he kept making her familiar. Jin Lily felt warm in her heart. She didn't expect that on her first day at work today, they would regard her as one of their own and start to hand over her work. Jin Lily picked up the cookbook, closed her eyes from time to time, and muttered words in her mouth. Mr. Xia asked strangely, Xiao Jin, what are you doing? I'm here. I'm trying to memorize this recipe as soon as possible, Jin Lily said. Mr. Xia and Lao Bao laughed. Mr. Xia took the recipe away from Jin Lily's hands and told her that she didn't need to memorize it. The more times she came, the more she would become familiar with it. Mr. Xia raised his hand, and the ordering clerk came over quickly. Mr. Xia returned the recipe to her, and then told her to order 1 portion of fish maw soup with 3 shreds, 1 portion of stir-fried scallops with summer fruits, and 1 portion of fried scallops with summer fruits. Ginger and scallion saffron crab, a roast suckling pig, a sashimi green dragon, and a bottle of Remy Martin XO. While the orderer was writing down the order menu, he asked, Mr. Xia, do you want to choose shrimp and crab from the seafood pool? Mr. Xia shook his head, no need, just help us choose. 3 people, I think a blue dragon weighing about 1.5 kilograms is okay. Okay, Mr. Xia said. Do you want a drink, madam? The order clerk asked. She also drinks, Lao Bao said. On the stage, the program had been changed at this time, and 3 girls in Turkish national costumes performed a belly dance on the stage. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Niang. Chapter 34. They were drinking and watching the show, and they ate until almost 9 o'clock. When they paid the bill, the 3 of them had eaten more than 1,800 yuan. Jin Lily was taken aback, her mouth opened wide and she was stunned. She stared blankly. As Lao Bao took out the money to settle the bill, the waiter put the money and the bill that Lao Bao had asked to see in a black folder and left. As he left, he glanced at Jin Lily with a smile. Close your mouth, Xiaojin. Mr. Xia said softly, if there are guests here in the future, even if they are 180,000, don't use this expression. Jin Lily said oh and looked at Lao Bao. Lao Bao was laughing. Jin Lily scolded, why are you laughing? I just had the most expensive meal in my life. Mr. Xia also laughed and said, how old are you? You are still far away from us in this lifetime. You will soon forget this meal. No, Jin Lily shook her head and told them seriously, this is also my first meal in the company. How could I forget? Mr. Xia nodded, that's true. Jin Lily said, no, Mr. Xia, you just said 180,000, what if we didn't bring that much money? 180,000 is a big package. Then just say you need to go to the bathroom, and then run back to the company safe to get it, Lao Bao said. Jin Lily said more seriously, then what if the money in the safe is not enough and the bank is closed again? Lao Bao said with a smile, then you go out and sell our car worth more than 1 million yuan for 200 yuan at the door, and take it back to pay. In short, don't let anyone see any hesitation on your face. Will the car be so easy to sell? People just want to buy it cheaply and don't have that much cash on them, Jin Lily said. Mr. Xia and Lao Bao almost felt their stomachs hurt from laughing. Mr. Xia patted the handbag on the table and said to Jin Lily, then you can quietly take away this bag from me. There is a card in it, and the password is 4 O's. You can just pay 1.8 million. Do you understand? What Lao Bao said is right, it just can't be given away. People can see a little hesitation and unhappiness on your face. Jin Lily said oh again, and she said, but paying so much money will make me really unhappy. You don't have half a brain to spend your own money, Lao Bao cursed. Mr. Xia glared at him, and he immediately forced his mouth. The three people walked out of the hotel door. The parking lot was now empty. A security guard had driven their car over from more than 300 meters away. The three people got in the car. Under Jin Lily's guidance, Lao Bao drove the car to Binya. They lived downstairs in the village house. The young man was still sitting at the door. He was surprised when he saw Jin Lily getting out of a Mercedes-Benz. This time he did not turn his head, but kept looking at Jin Lily. Jin Lily didn't even look at him. Go through the door. The room was dark, and neither Zhang Chen nor Lu Ligan were there. Jin Lily thought to herself that they were probably still copying posters in the open space, but they were about to come back. Jin Lily put a few changes of clothes into it in the bag, since I have to come back on Saturday anyway, I don't need to take too many things. After getting everything, Zhang Chen and the others hadn't come back yet. Mr. Xia and the others were waiting downstairs again. Jin Lily decided not to wait any longer. She left a note for Zhang Chen and went downstairs. When their car arrived at the entrance of the financial garden, Jin Lily suddenly shouted, Lao Bao, stop the car. After Lao Bao stopped the car, he asked, what are you doing? My boyfriend and my fellow countrymen are probably waiting here for me to get off work. I'll talk to them. Jin Lily said, opened the car door and got out of the car. Mr. Xia and Lao Bao saw two bicycles parked on the roadside. Two young men were standing there, half leaning and half sitting on the car. Jin Lily was walking towards them. Go, the two people stood up straight when they saw Jin Lily. They looked at Jin Lily and then at the car. Mr. Xia opened the car door and walked out. Jin Lily hurriedly told Zhang Chen, I just went home and you were not here. The company arranged a room for me. I have to live in the company and can only go home on weekends. Zhang Chen said oh. Mr. Xia came over, and Jin Lily quickly introduced to Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan, this is my boss. Then he introduced to Mr. Xia, this is my boyfriend Zhang Chen, and this is my fellow countryman Lu Ligan. Mr. Xia stretched out his hand and said, hello, my surname is Xia. Why don't you go to the company upstairs to sit down? Zhang Chen quickly said, "No, we thought Lily hadn't gotten off work yet, so we were waiting here. Since she lives in the company, we will go back first and not go up." "Thank you, Mr. Xia. My fault, I was negligent. I should have let Xiao Jin say hello to you first," Mr. Xia said. "I just want to fight, so I have to have a place to fight," Jin Lily said. Mr. Xia was stunned for a moment, and then said, "That's it, Xiao Jin, you can talk later, Lao Bao and I will go up first." "Okay, I'll be up right away," Jin Lily said. Mr. Xia shook hands with Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan again and told them that they would see each other next time and have a meal together at a convenient time. He then returned to the car and the car drove into the barrier gate. Lu Ligan asked, "Lily, has your job been decided? If it's not decided yet, the boss will treat me to a welcome banquet." "Do you know what my salary is?" Jin Lily said. "How much?" Lu Ligan asked. 1,005. "Great. This time it's really a shotgun exchange for a rocket." Lu Ligan patted Zhang Chen's shoulder excitedly, but Zhang Chen was a little unhappy. "What's wrong with you?" Jin Lily asked. Zhang Chen smiled, "Nothing, just a little sudden." "What's so sudden?" "It's so thrilling in the afternoon." Jin Lily then briefly talked to the two of them about what happened in the afternoon. The two of them were also sighing. Lu Ligan said, "Fortunately, our comrade Jin Lily is a good comrade who has been tested for a long time and refuses to be corrupted. It's thrilling." "This job almost went to waste," Jin Lily said proudly. "Okay, nothing happens, so I'll go up first." Zhang Chen said angrily, "Okay." Jin Lily walked a few steps, then came back and said to them, "By the way, there is one thing I want to tell you. When I am not around, Zhang Chen, don't worry. The main thing is you, Pole. You know the couple next door to us, husband and wife. What does the girl do, the pretty one?" "I don't know." Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan shook their heads. "She's ding dong too." "Ah," the two of them were shocked. Lu Ligan said, "It's impossible. I think that man is at home." "Stupid pig, the women are also at home, she is doing it, and the men are down there soliciting customers and watching out," Jin Lily scolded. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan still found it unbelievable. Although Jin Lily said this, they felt that it was really like that. "How do you know?" Lu Ligan asked. "The two girls next door told me." "By the way, do you know why they often quarrel?" Jin Lily asked. "I don't know." Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan continued to shake their heads. "The man is not satisfied with his wife doing this and is angry," Lu Ligan asked. "Nowhere, that man took the woman's money and went to whore again," Jin Lily scolded. "Gangzi, please be more honest with me, or I will tell Tan Shahen right away." "It's not Lily." "What is?" Zhang Chen. "Don't worry, it's mainly me. I also want to tell Tan Shahen, in your eyes, Lu Ligan, am that kind of person," Lu Ligan shouted. "I think you look like that," Jin Lily scolded. "I think so too." Zhang Chen smiled. "Okay, no more talking, I'm going up. See you on Saturday." Jin Lily waved and walked towards the gate. Zhang Chen looked at her back and suddenly felt a little lost and sad. He felt as if a piece of himself had been poached. For so many years, as long as Zhang Chen was in Yongcheng, they were together almost every day. Every time Zhang Chen came back from other places, Jin Lily is always in the room early. "How can we say goodbye, just goodbye?" Zhang Chen raised his head and looked at the sky. The sky was deep and full of stars, large and small. They became distant and blurred in the night light of the city. Zhang Chen felt that the sky was torn apart by the buildings above his head. "Let's go," Lu Ligan said. The two of them rode in silence, passing through the shadows of coconut trees. At this moment, Zhang Chen really thought that there was a shiny bell on the handlebar, which he could press hard and use a string of the ringtone woke everyone up this night. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 35. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan returned to Binya village. They hadn't had dinner yet and were starving. They parked their bicycles in the courtyard. Lu Ligan said, "Let's go, 3 are short of 1, we have to celebrate too." "Celebrate, celebrate that Lily has found a job, that company is awesome, and that boss looks pretty good too." The stool at the entrance of the courtyard was empty. Lu Ligan asked, "Tell me, is what Lily said true?" Zhang Chen said angrily, "How do I know?" Lu Ligan looked around and muttered, "Is this guy going to solicit customers again? Maybe he went whoring." Zhang Chen cursed. They went to the food stall and ordered duck head, fried salted fish and garlic water spinach. Lu Ligan said that Hainan's garlic water spinach is the best water spinach I have ever tasted in the country. Zhang Chen scolded, "You have only been to a few places and eaten a lot of water spinach, but you are all over the country." Lu Ligan looked at Zhang Chen and said seriously, "I have already figured this out. For me, only the places I have been to count as the whole country. Those that I have not been to are none of my business, just like us. If I didn't come to Hainan, what does Hainan have to do with me? It is not the same as the North and South Pole. It is a place name on the map. Only when you come here can you eat the most delicious water spinach in the country." When the boss heard Lu Ligan say that the water spinach in his stall was the most delicious water spinach in the country, he was so happy that he came over and told Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen that the salted fish and eggplant stewed here is also very good. Come on, to celebrate today, let's be extravagant, add vegetables, and add a salted fish and eggplant stew," Lu Ligan shouted. "There's already fried salted fish," Zhang Chen scolded. "It's different. How can the fried salted fish and the salted fish and eggplant stew be the same? Just like you, Zhang Chen, Jin Lily, Lu Ligan, and Tan Shuhan, how can they be the same?" Lu Ligan shouted. Zhang Chen he took a sip of beer and didn't bother to pay attention to him. The boss brought the salted fish and eggplant stew to the table and told Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen, "This is what I gave to you." Zhang Chen refused, but the boss insisted on giving it. In the end, Zhang Chen was defeated. Lu Ligan didn't care about it. He took a chopstick and put the salted fish and eggplant stew into his mouth, then slammed the table and shouted, "Boss, sure enough, your salted fish and eggplant stew is also the most delicious eggplant stew in the country. Zhang Chen, try it quickly." Zhang Chen took a chopstick of eggplant and tasted it. The taste was indeed extraordinary, and he gave the boss a thumbs up. "Did you see it, boss? Even our great painters are sure of it. Boss, let me tell you, your stall is here, don't leave. When I become rich in 2 years, I will come to invite you and buy your stall. Please come to my company and cook garlic water spinach and salted fish and eggplant stew for me to eat every day, okay? We have an agreement." Lu Ligan shouted carelessly, and the people at the tables around him looked at them. Zhang Chen felt quite embarrassed, but looking at the people around him, they didn't mean to laugh at all. What Zhang Chen didn't know was that Haikan at that time was full of vitality, with the smell of wealth and hope floating everywhere. No one would laugh at a person who said he wanted to succeed, and no one would think that your dream of getting rich was a daydream. Even if you are still riding a broken bicycle today and have not settled down in life, but if you say that you will become a billionaire next year, no one will think that it is impossible. At that time, a story was circulating in Haikan. It was said that a driver from Niajiang Grain Bureau in Sichuan came to Haikan with 2,000 yuan that he had scraped together. Through his own efforts, in just 2 years, he had earned 2,000 yuan. Yuan turned into a 20-story Niajiang building. Standing in the open space where Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan were looking for jobs, looking to the left, among the low houses in the old city, you could see the white Niajiang building that stood out from the crowd, and you could see the top of it. The dome is surrounded by dark blue curtain wall glass. Although this is not a revolving restaurant, it is similar to the shape of a revolving restaurant. In the early 1990s, it was shocking enough. At that time, there were only a few revolving restaurants in the country. The Niejiang building stands there, giving encouragement to countless people who travel to Hainan. When you are riding a bicycle, covered in stinky sweat, you lift your face that has been tanned by the sun and take a look at the white mountains in the distance. Building, think again, that person who was riding a bicycle like you 2 years ago, can you not feel that your tomorrow is also worth looking forward to? Lu Ligan chuckled. Zhang Chen glanced at him and asked, "Why are you giggling?" Lu Ligan lowered his voice and said to Zhang Chen, "In fact, we have all dug out our first pot of gold. You exchanged your word wonton for 4 bowls of real wontons and 3 bags of steamed buns. I used my sharp tongue in exchange for salted fish and eggplant stew. Although the quantity of this pot of gold is not large, and the quality is not very good, at least, it is all obtained by our real ability." When Lu Ligan said this, Zhang Chen made sense when he heard it. At least he felt better and no longer felt that he was a useless person. He raised his glass and became confused. The 2 people got up and went back. When they walked to the door of the courtyard, they saw the young man sitting there. The 2 people were about to go over, but the young man suddenly said, "Came back." Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan were startled, and Zhang Chen replied, "Well, I'm back. Here, let's get a cigarette." The young man handed over the cigarette, and Zhang Chen and Lu Li took it. One of the 3 people sat, the other 2 squatted, and the 3 sparks were extinguishing in the darkness, chasing each other. "Why didn't you see your girlfriend today?" the young man asked Zhang Chen. It seemed that this guy had been observing them and he knew clearly who was whose girlfriend. "Oh, she found a job today and is living in the company," Zhang Chen said. "I saw it," the young man said with some gloating. "I saw a Mercedes-Benz and a boss came to pick her up." "You saw it and you still humming?" asked. "No wonder you are so gloating about her misfortune. She was obviously sending her back to get something, but when she came to you, she came to pick her up. There were obviously 3 people coming, but when she came to you, she became a boss who came to pick her up." Zhang Chen frowned, and Lu Li puffed out the cigarette on the ground in front of the guy, stood up, and said to him, "We have to get up early tomorrow to find a job, so we should go back and take a shower first." The young man didn't say anything. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan walked into the yard, went upstairs, opened the door, and entered the room. They each sat on their own beds, leaning against the wall, ready to rest for a while before taking a shower. Lu Ligan looked at the sheets in front of him and said with a smile, "These sheets are no longer needed." Zhang Chen said angrily, "Who said that Lily would come back on Saturday and would use it?" Lu Ligan smiled, tilted his head, and after a while, he called Zhang Chen, come on, I've caught up, come here and listen." Zhang Chen stood up, walked over, and sat on the wire bed side by side with Lu Ligan, with his head against the wall. After a while, he heard a woman's moans coming from the other side of the wall. They are all adults and understand what this sound is about. It seems that what Jin Lily said is true. The 2 people sat there and chuckled. "Come back," Lu Ligan asked, imitating the young man's tone. "Go back to your mother, you have a home, can you go back?" Zhang Chen scolded. After laughing and scolding, the 2 of them got up and went to take a shower. After taking a shower, they went back to their respective beds and sat down. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan said, "When I took a shower just now, I was thinking that we might be wrong." "What's wrong?" Lu Ligan asked. "We were looking for a job in the wrong direction," Zhang Chen said. "Why?" Lu Ligan asked puzzledly. "So far, why we have been defeated repeatedly is because we all look for jobs based on our own strengths, but the units we go to, you see, are either newspaper offices or editorial departments and publishing houses. As for me, likewise, it's either a newspaper office or a bank, government agency or cultural palace, but these places all require diplomas, and we suffer the first loss in this regard." As Zhang Chen spoke, Lu Ligan kept nodding. It makes sense. We can't find any jobs no matter how long we look. Are there any jobs here? Of course there are, they are all over the wall, but there are no jobs that are suitable for us. In other words, there are people who are more suitable for those jobs than us. Right. So we must adjust our strategy. We can't look at what jobs are suitable for us, but what kind of people the city lacks most. We must change ourselves to adapt to this demand. I agree, Lu Ligan said. The two people discussed for a long time, and Lu Ligan took out the talent information newspaper to look for it. Finally, they agreed that the management staff of hotels and restaurants were the biggest shortage in the city. Lu Ligan took out the talent information newspaper. I saw on the internet that some hotels are posting applications for catering department managers and housekeeping managers every day. If they are posting every day, it means they have never been able to recruit them. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 36. The two agreed to go to the bookstore to buy books the next day. They would first read the books to understand what the hotel manager, catering manager, and room manager did before applying for the job. This alone was not enough. They also needed to compile a resume for themselves. Hotel recruitment, applicants' academic qualifications are not too important, but previous management experience is particularly important. If you have neither academic qualifications nor experience, then go back to where you came from. After discussing it, the two of them turned off the lights and went to sleep. Jin Lily was not here today, so there was no need to pull up the sheet hanging between the two beds. Zhang Chen was lying in the dark, but couldn't sleep. When Jin Lily was there, the two of them squeezed into a single bed, and it was so crowded. But Jin Lily was not there. It was spacious enough, but he felt empty in his heart. Zhang Chen on the bed. I felt the pillow was too hard when I was lying on my back, and the pillow was too low when I was lying on my side. I couldn't sleep well no matter what. In the end, he felt that the main reason was that the weather was too hot. Zhang Chen looked at Lu Ligan in the dark and found this guy with his head against the wall and his eyes wide open. He was still smiling secretly as he listened to the moans coming from next door. Zhang Chen wondered if this guy had long known what was going on next door. He maintained this posture every night. Gangzi, have you humming known what's going on next door for a long time, and do you listen to me like this every day? Zhang Chen asked. Damn it, I just have to listen to what you say every day. If I'm so close, I have to listen to what's next door, Lu Ligan said. Bullshit, what are we talking about? We are as tired as dogs every day, and fall asleep immediately after falling on the bed, Zhang Chen scolded. Then why didn't you fall asleep after lying in bed for so long today? Lu Ligan said with a smile. Do you want to listen to me and change beds with you? Get out, Zhang Chen cursed. It was late at night, and the wind blowing from the window became cooler. Zhang Chen was drowsy. He finally fell asleep, but he had messy dreams. He was woken up by a woman's giggle and felt that his body was covered with sweat. It seemed like I had a very scary dream before, what I dreamed about, but now I can't remember it. The woman's giggle rang out again. Zhang Chen thought it was coming from a dream, but now he heard it clearly. It was coming from next door. They must have gotten off work. Zhang Chen touched the watch beside his pillow and looked at it. It was almost 3 o'clock. He wanted to go back to sleep, but he felt hot all over and couldn't sleep, so he simply sat up. What are you doing? Lu Ligan asked in the dark, startling Zhang Chen. It's too hot. I want to take a shower again, Zhang Chen said. Lu Ligan smiled and said, go ahead. At this time, there is endless spring scenery next door. They are all in three-point style and the door is still open. Zhang Chen scolded, it seems you are very familiar with me. Of course, I'm not like you. In such a hot weather, two people hug each other and sleep like two pigs. Why, today Lily is not here, but you are too hot to sleep. Get out of here and go to sleep. Zhang Chen fell down again. When he woke up the next day, it was already past 9 o'clock, and Zhang Chen still felt like he was yawning again and again. They went to Xinhua bookstore and found a copy of White Swan Hotel Management Practices. It was a thick volume with detailed introductions to almost every aspect of every department, from the concierge department to the catering department, from the engineering department to the guest room department, including the job responsibilities and service processes of each department. The two of them felt like they had found a treasure. Enough is enough, Lu Ligan shouted. As long as I read this book familiarly, I will be an expert in the hotel industry. Damn it, I can write a book. Am I still afraid of reading a book? After the two people left the bookstore, they did not go to the open space again. Instead, they went home directly, lay on the bed, and read a book. In the morning, the neighbors on both sides were sleeping, and the room was quiet, which was perfect for reading. But that book has more than 600 pages. It is unrealistic to read it all in a short time. Waiting until you finish reading it before looking for a job will be too long. The two people discussed that they knew nothing about the engineering department, so they didn't need to consider it. The concierge and housekeeping departments needed to have basic foreign language conversation skills, and they didn't need to consider the security department, which was responsible for managing wild boar vehicles. Most people would hire retired military personnel. No need to think about it. The two discussed it for a long time, and then referred to the talent information news and found that it was not hotels that hired the most managers and supervisors in Haikan, but restaurants and hotels. Maybe there were too many people coming to the island at once and the demand for food was too great. Investors all think that investing in catering is more profitable. The two of them decided to focus on the catering department in the book. In this way, after reading, they could apply for jobs in catering hotels or catering departments of hotels. The two of them also compiled a resume for themselves. Zhang Chen was originally the deputy manager of the catering department in Hangcheng International Building. He was too young to be a manager. Lu Ligan was the deputy manager of the catering department in Hangcheng International Building. They were originally I wanted to choose the Huanglong Hotel, but it was the only 5-star hotel in Hangzhou at the time. It was suspicious to say that the deputy manager of a 5-star hotel came out to work. It took several minutes before they gave up. The part about the catering department in the book only has more than 50 pages. This is in line with their goal of learning quickly and cramming. It should be easy to finish it in one day, but unexpectedly, it is actually a headache to read. Big. The content in the book is really boring, and they are too unfamiliar with the things in it, such as bone dishes, taste dishes, water glasses, beer glasses, white wine glasses, red wine glasses, and wash basins. They can only read a little bit. Guess, the two of them worked on it for a long time, but they still didn't understand it. I ate instant noodles at noon and continued in the afternoon. After 1 o'clock, the next door started to moan. Once you know the source of this sound, you can't help but pay attention to it. The two of them held boring books and listened to it. After hearing the vivid voice, all I could think of was the somewhat mysterious and beautiful face next door. The two people tore toilet paper and stuffed it into their ears. After the ears were blocked, all they heard was buzzing tinnitus. It was better to listen to the sound next door. The two people took out the paper again. I understand why those two girls lived in that room instead of this one. It is said that they first lived in this room and later moved there, Lu Ligan shouted. How do you know? Zhang Chen looked suspicious. Tell me, should we find Yilan's mother and ask her to give us a cheaper rent? Lu Ligan changed the subject. Cheaper, Zhang Chen said with a smile. I see you are listening with interest, so it's good that you don't have to pay more. Who the hell is listening with gusto? I'm not just reading a book. The two people continued to read. After a while, the two people glanced at each other occasionally, and found that the other party had put down the book long ago without knowing it, and was listening to the sound next door. The two people laughed, and this time they did not laugh at each other. Finally, after 4 o'clock, Lu Ligan asked Zhang Chen, "How are you studying?" Zhang Chen felt that he had read more than 50 pages, but he couldn't remember what he remembered. "What about you?" Zhang Chen asked. "I think it's almost done," Lu Ligan said. "Then let's go there to see the latest news and find a few hotels," Zhang Chen asked. "Okay." Lu Lizan turned over and got up from the bed. The two of them went downstairs and saw the young man sitting there. He had eaten a cigarette last night, so he couldn't pretend not to know him today. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan both nodded towards him, and he seemed to remember last night. Lu Ligan said that he would get up early to find a job. He was a little surprised when he saw them and asked, "Are you going out now?" "Yes, let's go out now," Lu Ligan said. The two got on the car and rode for a while. Lu Ligan said, "There is a question that I still can't figure out. Tell me, after his wife finished having sex with those people, when he went home, would he still have sex with his wife?" Zhang Chen smiled and said, "How do I know? Or you go back and ask him." Lu Ligan shook his head and said, "I don't think he will do it." "I didn't hear what Lily said." "If he still goes out for prostitution, then he must think his wife is dirty. Then the prostitutes he went to were not the same ones that others had just done, so what's the difference between them and his wife?" Zhang Chen said. The two of them rode for a long distance before Lu Ligan said, "Oh," as if he was waking up from a dream, "Yes, you are right, Zhang Chen." The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 37. The two of them checked out a bunch of hotels and came back. After screening, they finally identified 6 hotels, all of which were recruiting general managers and catering managers. Lu Ligan divided them up and said that if one person goes to 3 hotels for the same position, we don't want to be ourselves fighting. The next morning, the two of them set off on their bicycles and went to their target employer. The hotel that Zhang Chen wanted to go to was on Haidian Island. Zhang Chen rode his bicycle and crossed the Peace Bridge. On the left was the Peninsula Hotel. The hotel that Zhang Chen wanted to apply for was right next to the Peninsula Hotel. It was a new hotel. Zhang Chen looked inside through a row of huge glasses. The hotel had been decorated. The dining tables and chairs had been moved to one side. There were many girls inside. They were holding their left hands behind their backs and holding trays in their right hands. 2 bricks lined up and walked back and forth in the restaurant. These seemed to be the hotel's newly recruited waiters and they were being trained. The door of the hotel has also been decorated, but the entire door is covered with a piece of red cloth, and the name of this hotel cannot be seen. They wrote in the recruitment notice that it is also a certain hotel. Zhang Chen walked into the door of a certain hotel. Inside the lobby, there was scaffolding, and workers were painting latex paint on the already white ceiling. There was a girl with a smile standing in the hall. She saw Zhang Chen come in and before Zhang Chen could speak, she asked, "Sir, are you here to apply for a job?" Zhang Chen nodded, and the girl led him up to the second floor. The second floor was also a hall, and there were already more than a dozen applicants. As soon as Zhang Chen sat down, a waiter brought him a glass of water politely. Zhang Chen thought to himself, "Damn, the treatment for applying for a general manager job is really different." Another girl came over, took a form, and asked Zhang Chen to fill it out with a smile on her face. Zhang Chen thought that their smiles were excusable. After all, one of these people who came to apply for the job would be the one in the future. Their leader, if he could lead such a group of smiling girls, this general manager would be really good. Thinking of this, Zhang Chen was particularly looking forward to this job. Zhang Chen looked up and saw that at the other end of the hall was the recruitment site, which was carefully arranged. There were a row of long tables covered with white tablecloths. 4 people were sitting behind the tables, more than 1 meter away from them. There is a chair, and applicants need to walk through the empty hall in the middle until they go to the chair and sit down. This kind of arrangement shows the recruiter's intentions. Those who are walking sideways and swaying have not yet reached the chair. The 4 people who are probably sitting will put an X on the form in front of them. When the girl saw Zhang Chen stop writing, she came over and asked with a smile, "Have you filled it out?" Zhang Chen nodded, and the girl took away the form in front of him. People kept getting up from that chair and walking out the door, and new people kept coming in from outside the door. The girl who had just collected Zhang Chen's form walked up to Zhang Chen, bent down, and said softly to him, "Sir, it's your turn." Zhang Chen stood up. Since he already understood the intention of the other party's arrangement, he kept reminding himself in his heart that he must walk gracefully. In the troupe, Zhang Chen would often appear on stage as a cameo. Sometimes he would hold a knife and follow Feng Logui, shouting non-stop. Sometimes he would roll up his sleeves and go up to circle passers-by, and sometimes he would hold a gun. When he went up, he was kicked to the ground by Tan Shahen, who played Mu Guiying, and then quickly climbed to the side of the curtain. The girl walked in front, and Zhang Chen followed behind. He kept reminding himself, but he became nervous for no reason. After walking, he was at a loss and became the same person. Fortunately, the chair had already arrived, but he saw in front of him that there was something wrong. The 2 men smiled slightly, wondering if they were laughing at their predicament. Zhang Chen felt sweat dripping from his forehead. He touched it secretly with his hands, but they were dry. Zhang Chen breathed a sigh of relief. Zhang Chen just breathed a sigh of relief and immediately remembered that he had just sat down in a hurry and forgot to say hello to the 4 people. They didn't look like people coming out of Hangzhou International Building. Zhang Chen once passed by the entrance of the International Building. I saw that even the doorman standing at the door and holding the door open for the guests was polite, but he didn't look like me. Zhang Chen quickly stood up again, bowed to them, and said to them, "Hello. Are you Zhang Chen?" After Zhang Chen sat down again, the person who looked most like the boss among the 4 asked. Zhang Chen nodded. "Your resume says that you were originally in Hangzhou International Building. What kind of unit was that?" 4-star hotel, Zhang Chen said. "Oh, that's still different from us. We are a purely catering hotel," the man said. Zhang Chen quickly said, "Our hotel also has a catering department. I am the hotel's catering department manager." "Oh, no, deputy manager." "Are you the deputy manager of the catering department?" Among the 4 people, one was fat and wearing a chef's uniform. He should be a chef-level person and asked, "Your catering department is quite different from ours, right? What you cook should be Hawaiian cuisine, right? How do I know what kind of food is cooked in that damn place?" But when the other party asked, even though Zhang Chen didn't understand, he could only nod his head and say yes. "Then the difference is huge," the boss said. "Our hotel specializes in Cantonese and Hainanese cuisine, which may not necessarily be suitable." Zhang Chen said anxiously, "It's all cooking, what difference will it make? I can do it." The head chef smiled softly. "Okay, let me ask you, is it better to cook fish maw in oil or water? Also, how long does it usually take to cook shark fin in water? What are these, fish maws and shark fins?" Zhang Chen has never seen them before. What the hell is this watery hair and oily hair? Zhang Chen was stunned. When the chef saw that he didn't answer, he lowered the difficulty. "Well, let me ask again, should the steamed grouper be topped with light soy sauce or dark soy sauce?" Zhang Chen looked at him, hesitating, not knowing what to say. The man who looked like a boss frowned and said to Zhang Chen, "Okay, that's it, thank you." Zhang Chen stood up, but the head chef still didn't let him go and said to him, "Assistant manager, let me tell you, steamed grouper should not be topped with light soy sauce or dark soy sauce, but with black bean juice and soy sauce." Several others laughed heartily. Zhang Chen's face turned red. He felt that if he could use one word to describe himself, how could he pass the eyes of those smiling girls, it would be to run away. Zhang Chen returned home and opened the book White Swan Hotel Management Practice. After searching for a long time, he couldn't find any oil or water, nor could he find what fish maw was. Could it be fish bubbles? If it's fish bubbles, we'll fry them with chili peppers. Zhang Chen didn't give up and continued to search, but he couldn't find any light or dark soy sauce, let alone that soy sauce. In that era, firewood, rice, oil, salt, soy sauce, vinegar, and tea, who knew that the Cantonese people had so many different names in soy sauce? In Yongcheng, who didn't take a soy sauce bottle to a small shop and make soy sauce from a jar? I have never even seen bottled soy sauce, let alone light soy sauce. More than half an hour later, Lu Ligan also came back, looking gloomy. Zhang Chen didn't need to ask, he knew it was sad, so he simply didn't ask. Lu Ligan fell on the bed and lay there sulking for a long time. Finally I couldn't help it anymore and asked, "Zhang Chen, do you think they figured out that we are fakes? The damn restaurant I went to, they actually asked me, on a table, which one is the guest of honor and which one is the host. When you are seated, how should you receive it? Why don't you just have a meal? Just sit down and eat? The seats in the circle are not the same, so what's the difference? You humming pig, it's not written clearly in the book," Zhang Chen scolded. "Really? Is there such boring content in this book?" Lu Ligan shouted and picked up the White Swan Hotel Management Practice. "Turn over to the chapter about setting up the stage and see if it's there," Zhang Chen said. Lu Ligan opened it and took a look, and sure enough, the positions of guest, host, and host were clearly marked. "Damn it, you can't read a word less. How can you tolerate reading like this?" Lu Ligan shouted. Zhang Chen said angrily, "Sitting there, I can't answer anything, so I can't bear it. There is a hole in the ground, and I have to crawl into it." The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 38. In the next few days, they went to many hotels, with similar results. When they kept failing, they kept going to the bookstore to buy books, from various hotel-related books to recipes. Zhang Chen finally knew what it's called fish maw, and he also knew what black bean sauce and soy sauce were, and what oil fat and water fat was, but when he went to the company he was applying for, no one asked him this question again. And what others asked were all new questions, which stumped them. What's more, they directly took a table and asked them to set it up. Damn it, how could I do this? They also lowered the positions they applied for, from general manager to manager, then to supervisor, and finally to foreman. Unexpectedly, the lower the position, the more specific the problems were, the more they required practical operations, and they couldn't even talk nonsense. They had no choice but to continue to raise the level of application. The young man seemed to understand their situation. Now when they came back every night and met at the door, he asked them directly, "Didn't find it again today?" Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan couldn't even get angry, because they not only smoked other people's cigarettes, but also ate their hot pot. When people ask this, they treat you as one of their own and care about you. That Saturday, Jin Lily called the store and left a message for Zhang Chen saying that he was going to Yangpu in the evening and would not be back today. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan walked gloomily. When they passed the next door, the door was open and the woman, when he saw them, he greeted them warmly and told them that he had cooked a lot of dishes today and was going to have hot pot, so let's come together. The young man also said that eating hot pot together requires a large number of people to make it lively. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan couldn't refuse their hospitality, so they had no choice but to agree. The four of them sat in the corridor, drinking beer and eating hot pot. They found out that they were indeed a couple. The man was called Jianqiang and the woman was Chia. Chia, they are all very common names, I don't know if they are true or false, so who cares? Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan listened to Jia giggling non-stop, her white arms and thighs shaking in their eyes, making their hearts sway, always thinking of the moaning across the wall. After finishing the hot pot, Jia asked them if they were going to watch a movie. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan said they couldn't go, so Jia and Ji Unqiang left by themselves. Lu Ligan was surprised and asked Zhang Chen, does their line of work also have weekends? Zhang Chen said, how do I know? Lu Ligan was stunned for a while, then burst into laughter and said to Zhang Chen, I understand, my aunt is here today and I am forced to stop work. Sure enough, the night was very quiet. They heard two people coming back. They seemed to be in a good mood and were still humming in the room. When Lu Ligan went downstairs to buy cigarettes at 11 o'clock, he found that the lights in their room had been darkened. Ji Unqiang was not seen at the door downstairs, and that familiar voice was not heard this night. As time goes by and they run into obstacles again and again, Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan become more and more impatient and depressed. When they are in the room, they always sigh, although they still go there every day. Lu Ligan would continue to buy the talent information newspaper in the vacant land and copied many addresses, but he felt guilty, knowing that even if he copied them, they wouldn't be of much use. When they go to apply for a job now, when they walk to the door of their workplace, they are already giving up. During the interview, they suddenly can't think of many things that they have clearly read in books and memorized at home. I got up, my mind went blank, and I sat there like an idiot. The more this happens, the more their anxiety is written on their faces and eyes. This kind of anxiety can be seen at a glance, so that whatever they say will give people an unreal feeling. Poke, and sure enough, it broke. In the evening of that day, the sun had already set, and they came to the open space again. When they arrived, they saw many people queuing up. After asking, they were told that a farm below the farm was looking for workers. Zhang Chen also queued in. Lu Ligan asked, what do the workers on this farm do? Grow rubber, cut rubber, said the man in front of them. Isn't that a farmer? Lu Ligan said. Yes, just do the same work as I did in my hometown. The person in front of them was obviously a farmer in his hometown. Lu Ligan looked at Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen didn't say a word. Lu Ligan sighed and had no choice but to queue up. He knew that as soon as he opened his mouth, Zhang Chen would definitely tell him, no matter what he does, first he had something to do, and Lu Ligan didn't have the courage and confidence to refute Zhang Chen's idea now. The two people followed the queue and walked forward silently. When they reached the queue, there was a table in front of them. A middle-aged man wearing glasses and a little girl were sitting there. Zhang Chen and Lu Lipol handed over their ID cards. After handing it over, the middle-aged man known as Director Yang took their ID cards and looked at them, but did not give the ID cards to the little girl next to him to register. What did you two do in the first place? Director Yang said, you don't look like people who have done farm work. Zhang Chen said that he had never done it before. We were originally from a theater troupe. Shaoxing Opera, Director Yang asked. Wu Opera, Zhang Chen said. Oh, that should be in the Jinhua area, actor. No, Zhang Chen shook his head, I am an artist and he is a screenwriter. Director Yang laughed, then why do you come to my place? You don't get along. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan didn't know how to answer these words. I understand, Director Yang said, have you ever been unable to find a job since arriving in Hainan, so you just thought, no matter what, you should start working first, right? Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan were surprised that he could see through their thoughts at once, and they nodded. Don't be anxious, young man. Nothing can be said until you start doing it. Once people settle down, they are all inert. In other words, when the anger is exhausted, they will not have the courage to bring it up again. Believe me, you are really here. On the farm, you will feel wronged immediately, and then you won't have the courage to run out again, so you will end up complaining all day long. Director Yang returned the ID cards to them. Zhang Chen became anxious and shouted, "Director Yang, we will do a good job." Director Yang smiled and said, "That's what I say, but in my heart, I already feel aggrieved by being ranked here, right? It's not that I don't want you, young man, anyone can do it, plant trees and tap rubber, I believe you can do it too, but not suitable, I'm doing this for your own good, I've seen too many situations like yours." Director Yang continued to hand it over, but Zhang Chen and Lu Lipole never picked it up. Director Yang sighed and said, "Okay, let me tell you the truth. I am also from Zhejiang, and I am a fellow countryman. I really don't want you to be like this. If you keep insisting, what do you say, looking for him in the crowd thousands of times, but suddenly looking back, that person is in the light of the lamp. Maybe you can find a job that suits you if you persist a little longer, okay, two little fellows." Seeing that Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan were still hesitating, Director Yang thought for a moment and said to them sincerely, "Well, you try again. If you are really desperate, come to me in Danzhou. I will do what I say. I will arrange work for you at any time." "He is the office director of our farm." The little girl next to him wrote an address on a piece of paper. Director Yang took it and added a phone number under the address, and then returned the note with his ID card. To Zhang Chen, the words had reached this point, so Zhang Chen could only accept it. He bowed to Director Yang and said to him, "Thank you, Director Yang." Lu Ligan also bowed and said thank you. The two people left the team. Lu Ligan wanted to squeeze into the crowd again and copy a few addresses. Zhang Chen said, "Let's go," it was getting dark. Lu Ligan was wondering, so what if it was getting dark soon? "We didn't go back until after 8 o'clock someday." The two of them got on their bicycles and walked home. They passed by a store selling small department stores. Zhang Chen stopped, went into the store, and bought a small electric fan. Lu Li asked curiously, "Why are you wasting this money? If you're afraid of the heat, just take more showers to cool off." "Today is Saturday," Zhang Chen said without looking back. Lu Ligan suddenly realized that another week had passed and Jin Lily was coming back today. No wonder Zhang Chen said earlier that it was getting dark, and no wonder he wanted to buy an electric fan. This kid must have thought that Jin Lily would stay in the air-conditioned room every day. Afraid of the heat. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Niang. Chapter 39. When the two of them got home, Jin Lily hadn't come yet. After they took a shower, Jin Lily also arrived. As soon as Jin Lily arrived, she took out two BB cameras from her bag. She pointed at one of them and said, "This is mine, you write down the number, then point to the other one and tell Zhang Chen, this is yours, you also write down the number, and if the unit notifies you, it can detain you." Zhang Chen was startled. He looked at Jin Lily and asked, "How can you afford such an expensive thing?" Jin Lily said proudly, "I paid my salary yesterday. By the way, I will treat you to a stall for dinner later." "You've only been here a few days and you're already getting paid," Lu Ligan shouted in disbelief. "Of course, yesterday was the day when the company paid wages, and I thought I was not there. But Lao Bao gave me the salary list, and I saw my name was on it. He said that Mr. Xia said that even if he comes for one day, he should be paid." Jin Lily said while putting the BB camera into Zhang Chen's waist. "Full moon?" Lu Ligan asked. "Yes, for the whole month," Jin Lily said. She took out a wad of money from her bag, stuffed it into Zhang Chen's pocket, and said to him, "This is 600 yuan, you run out every day, Eat better. Zhang Chen wanted to take it out and give it back to her, but Jin Lily cursed, "Why, you and I still share what's yours and what's mine. I live and eat in a work unit, so I can't spend any money at all." Zhang Chen murmured, "Why do I feel like I am the same as Ji Unqiang?" "Who is Ji Unqiang?" Jin Lily asked. Lu Ligan told her that he was the young man next door. Jin Lily slapped Zhang Chen on the arm and cursed, "What did you say?" Zhang Chen knew that Jin Lily had misunderstood his words and quickly defended, "No, I mean, I am as useless as him." Jin Lily hit her again, but this time it was lighter. Jin Lily said, "I don't allow you to talk about yourself like that." Lu Ligan said, "Yes, a fellow villager criticized us in the same way. Let us not belittle ourselves and believe that our talents will be useful and of great use." Jin Lily rolled her eyes at him, "You are just for Tan Shahen." All three laughed. Jin Lily saw a pile of hotel management books and recipes on the table and asked curiously, "Where did it come from?" "You met a chef." Zhang Chen told Jin Lily what they had done this week. Jin Lily opened her eyes wide and shouted, "How is it possible, you two? The biggest kitchen you have ever entered in your life is the canteen of the Wu Opera Troupe. Just like this, you want to be a manager in a hotel? Do you know how deep the water in the hotel is? Those who have never done it will not be able to do it at all. You know, plus the hotel here is not a small restaurant under the Wu Opera Troupe, and you don't even recognize the food here." Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan, based on their experiences in the past few days, thought that this was indeed the case, but they still refused to admit it. Lu Ligan said, "Isn't it just a hotel? Is it as mysterious as you said?" "A hotel? Humph, there are a row of waiters standing there. You can't tell which one is the supervisor and which one is the foreman, which one is the orderer and which one is the cashier, which one is the order server and which one is the waiter, right?" Jin Lily said. "Aren't they all waiters?" "Do they have so many tricks?" Lu Ligan asked. "Of course, there are many tricks. I study every day, and I make a fool of myself every day. You two have never even entered the hotel door, and yet you dare to become managers. I can only say that you are brave, but you are stupid." Home Jin Lily smiled. "Tell me, why did you make a fool of yourself?" Lu Ligan said. Before Jin Lily could speak, she laughed first. After laughing, she said, "That day, the waiter brought 2 beautiful glass bowls and put them on the table. I saw there was tea in them, so I thought they were for us to drink, so I brought them over and was about to pour a cup into my own teacup. It turned out that Mr. Xia and Mr. the two of them laughed to death. Old Bao told me that this is a hand-cleaning cup. The tea in it is for guests to wash their hands after eating seafood. It's so embarrassing. Fortunately, the guests haven't come yet." It turned out that the hand cup was used for this purpose. Only then did Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan understand. Zhang Chen asked, "By the way, what kind of tea is in that?" "Oolong tea," Jin Lily said. Jin Lily's words suddenly made the two of them lose all confidence. Although he had read so many books, his practical knowledge was not as much as that of a junior diner like Jin Lily. It seemed that the road of hotel manager was still too high. Distant. "You two, you still have to find someone who is suitable for you. If you have the ability, don't be afraid. It's just that you don't have a chance. If you really get the chance, you can win it as soon as you take action. This, even if you take action, you will only know how to do it." "Make a fool of yourself," Jin Lily said, "just like me, although I am lucky. If I had never worked as a cashier, I would have been in trouble." Zhang Chen and Lu Lizan felt that what Jin Lily said made sense. Lu Lizan clasped his hands and said, "Thank you, Master, for your advice." "Okay, Master, I'll treat you two managers to dinner," Jin Lily shouted. "I'm tired of eating at the Tian Tian Hotel. I miss the fried duck head here." The three of them were at the food stall and didn't go home until after 9 o'clock in the evening. When they saw the young man sitting there at the gate, Lu Ligan said to Zhang Chen and Jin Lili, "You guys go up, Ji Unqiang and I will have a cigarette." Zhang Chen and Jin Lili, of course, understood that Lu Ligan was giving them space. The two of them went upstairs and entered the room without saying anything. When Jin Lili closed the door, he locked the door behind him. Lu Ligan and Ji Unqiang, one sitting and the other squatting, did not speak and smoked silently. After finishing one cigarette and just as they were smoking the second cigarette, a man came out of the door and left in a hurry. Both of them pretended not to see it. After a while, Ji Unqiang and Lu Ligan said, "Sit down for you while I go outside for a walk." Lu Ligan watched his figure swaying away in the darkness and thought, "Damn, he is soliciting customers again." He looked upstairs and saw Jia, who seemed to be carrying a bucket of water from the corridor. On the other end, he returned to his room. Lu Ligan sat and smoked another cigarette. He remembered that there were 2 billiard tables next to the shop, so he stood up and went to play billiards there. Lu Ligan looked at the time, it was almost 12 o'clock, and then walked home. Ji Unqiang was still sitting at the door. When he saw Lu Ligan, he said 2 sentences. The first sentence was, "It can't be so long," and the second sentence was, "The second sentence is that if you walk straight ahead from the shop, there is an outdoor cinema." Lu Ligan didn't know what he was talking about. He said "Oh" and walked over. He didn't understand until he reached the stairs and chuckled. He returned upstairs. The lights in the room were dark, but the door was open. When Lu Ligan walked in, Zhang Chen turned on the bedside lamp. Lu Li was covered in sweat from playing billiards. He went to take a shower and then returned to bed. Zhang Chen turned off the light. In the haziness, Lu Ligan heard Jin Lili shouting, "It was so hot, so hot." Lu Ligan said, "Turn the fans towards you." When he heard that the 2 people on the other side of the bed sheets were not moving, he got up and turned the electric fan facing the bed sheets between the 2 beds towards Zhang Morning to their side. I don't know how much time passed, Lu Ligan was hazy, and he heard Jin Lili yelling again. He was so hot that he was sweating. He heard Zhang Chen get up and walk to the table. He seemed to have brought back a book and fanned it. Jin Lili said coquettishly, "It's still hot." Lu Ligan said, "If it's hot, go take a shower." Pol, I have thought about it. In a few months, I will also install an air conditioner for you. People have said that Hainan has been so hot for 10 months. With the air conditioner, it will not be hot anymore, Jin Lili said. With a swish sound, Zhang Chen threw the book out of his hand and shouted, "If you are afraid of the heat, just go back to your room and sleep." Jin Lili became angry when she heard this. "Zhang Chen, what do you mean? I said I was afraid of the heat. I just said I would install an air conditioner for you. What's wrong?" Zhang Chen sat up excitedly, "Yes, you installed the air conditioner for us and paid for our food. Now go down and find Yilan's mother and pay our rent next month." Jin Lili also sat up, "Yes, I'm a humming bitch, I'm a bitch, okay. I'm going to rely on you to install the air conditioner for you." "Okay, that's it for now, you two, shut up." Lu Lipol also sat up and turned on the light. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 40. Originally, it was agreed that the 3 of us would go to the crater this morning and swim in Baishamen in the afternoon. However, Zhang Chen got up at around 8 o'clock and said he wanted to go to the open space to have a look. On Sunday, the recruiting unit did not have a holiday. Lu Lizan didn't know whether Jin Lili was asleep or awake and deliberately silent. She lay there motionless. Lu Ligan had no choice but to follow Zhang Chen out and push the car out. Lu Ligan said, "Zhang Chen, you went too far last night." Zhang Chen said nothing and pushed the cart away. "Lily is just kind-hearted. Why are you so angry?" "Why, is it because your pride can't stand it?" Lu Ligan said with a smile. Zhang Chen stepped on the bicycle pedal fiercely, got on the bike, shouted, "Let's go." He speeded up and rode forward. "Mom," Lou Ligon cursed and quickly got into the car, stepped hard and followed. When the two of them got there, they each copied an address and went to apply for jobs separately. At noon, Lou Ligon came back here. There were fewer people here than usual on Sundays, and it was sunny, so there were even fewer people. Lou Ligon standing squeezed into a crowd. He was surprised to find that Zhang Chen was also inside, writing down the address on the wall. Lou Ligon patted him on the shoulder, and the two people walked out of the crowd. Lou Ligon asked, "Why didn't you go back? What are you going back for? Are you humming trying to make things bigger?" Lou Ligon cursed. Zhang Chen said nothing and turned his head to one side. Okay, I'm going to buy a newspaper. When we come back, we'll go back together. It's for my sake," Lou Ligon said. Lou Ligon arrived at the small house, bought a copy of the Talent Information newspaper, opened it, took a look, and walked back. "Master, is your newspaper looking for reporters?" Lou Ligon asked the people inside. The person inside said, "What kind of reporter does a newspaper like ours need?" Lou Ligon showed him the newspaper in his hand. Sure enough, there was a recruitment notice for 20 journalists from the Talent Information newspaper written on it. This notice was twice as big as the ordinary notice. The person inside shook his head. "Then I don't know. You have to go to the office and ask." "Where is your office?" The people inside pointed at the company address at the bottom of the newspaper with their fingers. "This is Longjio Slope." Lou Ligon came back with the newspaper. Zhang Chen was still standing there. Lou Ligon said to Zhang Chen, "I can't accompany you back, I have to go here. You go back by yourself. Remember, if you have anything to say, say it properly, don't eat it like gunpowder." Zhang Chen didn't say anything and got on the bicycle. Lou Lepole patted him on the back and shouted, "Have a meal and a shot, and nothing will happen." Zhang Chen turned his head and glared at him, and Lou Ligon laughed. Lou Ligon arrived at Longbipo and found the building of the Labor Bureau. The Talent Information newspaper was on the 4th floor. Lou Ligon climbed up. There were 2 or 3 people standing in the corridor, but all the doors were closed. Lou Ligon, after asking, they found that these 2 or 3 people were also here to apply for the job. They told Lou Ligon that the recruiter had gone to dinner and would start at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Lou Ligon walked to the end of the corridor and sat down against a closed door. It was still cooler here and there was a little wind. Lou Ligon sat there. He didn't sleep well last night and got up early in the morning. He didn't want to. After a while he sat there and fell asleep. When he woke up, it was already 2:30, and there was a queue in the corridor. Lou Ligon quickly got up and got to the back of the queue. When it was Lou Ligon's turn, Lou Ligon said to the person sitting behind the desk, "I'm here to apply for a job as a reporter." The other party looked at him. "Do you know our newspaper?" "I know, I buy it every day." "Well, we are recruiting people who will advertise. They will go to the employer, advertise for recruitment, and issue you press passes. This is for your convenience. Do you understand?" Lou Ligon cursed in his heart. If you don't recruit reporters, you still write in such big letters, 20 reporters. Can you do it? The other party asked. Lou Ligon quickly said, you can give it a try. How is the treatment like? What kind of treatment? It's just salary and stuff. No salary, just place an advertisement, get a commission of 10%, and pay it off every month. Lou Li hesitated on his pole, and the other party shouted, if you can do it, if you can't, the next person will be next. Lou Li's heart changed. He thought that although he was unfamiliar with the place, it would be difficult to advertise, but there would be no loss if he failed. He quickly shouted, yes, yes, I can do it. If you can do it, just go over there with your ID card and pay a deposit of 200 yuan. What is this deposit for? Press card, if you want to stop working, return the press card and refund the deposit. However, let me make it clear to you first. When you return it, you can only get a refund of $180. Why is there 20 less? The cost of producing a press pass. The other party gave him a dissatisfied look. It was almost 4 o'clock when Lou Ligon came home with his press card from Talent Information News, and there was no one in the house. Lou Ligon came in and saw a note on the table, written by Jin Lily. There are only 5 words on it: "I'm back to the company." Lou Ligon's heart skipped a beat. He knew that Zhang Chen definitely didn't come back after he left at noon. It was almost 5 o'clock before Zhang Chen came back. He walked in and took a look at the note on the table. He crumpled the note into a ball and threw it to the ground. Lou Ligon sat up from the bed and looked at Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen came over and sat down on the bed opposite. He saw Lou Ligon staring at him and asked, "Why are you looking at me? When did you have a quarrel, you and Lily?" Lou Ligon said, "I don't remember it, right? Just for such a trivial matter, in one sentence, what are you going to do?" "I'm not ready to do anything," Zhang Chen said in a low voice. "Then why don't you come back at noon?" "Looking for a job, no time." "Did you find it?" "No." "You're acting like this. I'm worried that you won't find a job and lose your girlfriend." "If it's gone, it's gone," Zhang Chen said angrily. "Then if you have the guts, just break up with Lily. It doesn't matter if you hide and don't come back. Leave her here alone. What do you want her to do? Listen to the noise next door all day?" Zhang Chen stood up. "Why are you going?" Lou Ligon shouted. "Shower. Get out," Lou Ligon cursed. Lou Ligon couldn't figure out what Zhang Chen's fault was. It looked like a good thing all night. Jin Lily bought him a BB machine, gave him money, and treated them to a meal. After the meal, too, "I have been exercising for such a long time, but in the middle of the night, things suddenly changed." Lou Ligon thought about it carefully. Although Jin Lily's words were well-intentioned, he understood that they would indeed sound uncomfortable to Zhang Chen, but discomfort was uncomfortable. How could he be so angry all of a sudden? Lou Ligon sighed. He thought, if only Tan Shahen was here, maybe she could know why. At least with Tan Shahen here, even if Zhang Chen went out with him, Lily would not be here alone. Feeling left out? Lou Ligon shook his head. "Forget it, don't think about it anymore, let's think about where to start tomorrow." He took out the press card in his pocket and looked at it. Zhang Chen came in and saw what Lou Lizan was holding, and his eyes lit up. "Gangzi, have you found a job?" "Shit, it's fake." "Did you go and make a false witness?" "The certificate is true, but this reporter's job is fake." "It's actually just advertising," Lou Ligon scolded.